Hey everyone, I hope everyone had a great Tuesday yesterday. On to Wednesday. We are back at it. Hope everyone's doing well and keeping up on their work. Keep up the good work. Hope you enjoyed some of the nice weather the last couple of days. It's been pretty nice out there. Yesterday was even a little warm. Just FYI, tonight I will not be having a Zoom meeting. There's only a Zoom meeting in the morning. So if you have any questions, look over your homework this morning. Try to jump on this morning. Otherwise, you can give me a call anytime. I got a bunch of meetings tomorrow. So I'm not sure exactly if I'll be available at 7 tomorrow. So that's why I'm canceling the 7 o'clock meeting today. All right, let's get into our assignments for social studies today. All you have to do is work on that map. Make sure that has to be turned in today. So please make sure that you get that map of your house done by today, okay? For spelling, you're working on the third page of your Unit 29. I have all the words up there on your Spelling City website, so you can go on there and start practicing your words for your test that's going to be taken on Friday. Just remember, especially for second graders, you guys got some tricky words. They're words that sound alike but are spelled differently, like I and I. There could be an I like the I that you see with, or you could be I like I ate the ice cream cone. So you got to really be careful. You listen to the sentences when you do your spelling test with regards to that, okay? So take your time. I don't think as long as you studied a little bit, you'll be able to figure it out and get everything down, okay? All right, let's get into our assignments. Kindergarten, math. Today you're going to be working on, like I told you this afternoon, you're going to be working on, first is some balls. There's all different types of balls, from a large ball to a small ball to the first ball to the third ball. You have to listen to the instructions, and they're going to say something like, color the fifth sphere red. Remember, sphere is the fancy word for a ball. And then you got to go to the fifth one and color that one red. And then it might say color the large ball yellow or the small ball blue. Okay, so you got to get those crayons out, listen carefully to those directions, and color it nice and neat. Down the backside, you're working on writing your numbers. Like I mentioned yesterday afternoon, you're starting at the number 11 and going all the way up to 30 and filling in those missing numbers. So make sure you write them nice and neat and carefully. It shouldn't be too hard. I think you did a pretty good job with working on that the other day. So keep up that good work. With your letter N for your super kids, I attached the link there with regards to the worksheets. So pick 3 of those worksheets out with the letter N and fill those out and do those for me, please. Then on a separate piece of paper, like we worked on the letter N, write the uppercase and the lowercase, the big and the small, N 10 times on a separate piece of paper. And then also write those words on and in 3 times, and every time you write them, make sure you say the word, okay? On and in. Write those words 3 times on your piece of paper. All right? All right, that's enough for you. For first graders, continue reading. I hope everyone's reading every single night. Read at least 10 to 15 minutes every single night. Just reiterating that. Make sure that you are reading. Okay, with your math today, you got 2 pages. One's just a fact page like normal, and then on the other one is your new concept today is how do you divide things into 2 separate pieces. So if let's say I had 4 pieces of candy, or let's say I had 8 pieces of candy. So there's 2 boxes. So I was going to split that 8 pieces of candy amongst you and me. So then I go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how I go back and forth like that? And then I count how many did each person get. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so they got 4. So I would write the number 4 down there, and they got 4 over there. So 8 divided by 2 people is 4 equally. So that's what you're going to be doing on number 4 on both pages. The top on the front side, you're going to write the number 99. You're going to write it 3 more times, and don't forget to do the digits and tally marks. Don't forget to do that. Then number 2, it says Gina had a half dozen pencils. Remember, that's 6 because a dozen is 12. And it says she gave 2 pencils to her friend Nancy. How many does she have? Now, is that some more or some went away if she gave away 2 of them? That's some went away. So you got to circle that, and then you got to draw me 6 pencils and cross off 2 of them. That means it's a subtraction problem. Number 3, you got to color the circles the right color. You're only coloring 1 piece of each one, so be careful there. We already talked about number 4, and then number 5 is what we worked on yesterday. Write the mouth eating the bigger number, or if they're the same, write the equal sign. Backside's exactly the same, except for number 1. First one you're going to do is work with counting by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, all the way up. And then counting backwards by 2, 15, 13, 11. What comes after 11? 11, 10, 9. Oh, 9, 8, 7. All right, so you got to count backwards all the way down. Otherwise, everything else should be fairly normal on that page, okay? With regards to your phonics today, you're going to continue. You have 4 pages there. You're just looking at the long O sound. It shouldn't be too hard if you follow my directions there. You're just either circling words and writing them in, or you're writing them in. Now, the little thing that's different today is that sometimes you may have the O sound might be made with an O A, or sometimes the O sound will be made with an O, another vowel, and then a silent E. Okay, so it can make the O and a silent E. So I could cross that off even and make that a long O, like that. Or it could be with an OA. If it's an OA, it's usually in the middle of the sentence. If it's like this, there's a letter in between it, okay? So especially for that last page, that will help you a whole bunch. You have to write in either an OA if it's in the middle, or an O with an E at the end. You should be able to tell that by just looking at the where the spaces are for that one, okay? All right. Let's see. For your reading today. Make sure I got the right reading here. Yep. All right, for your reading there, first graders, on page 215, you have to go think about the story that we read a while back ago called Lost. That was the one about the bear who was lost in the city and the boy was helping him get back. And you're going to do like a little, excuse me, book report about that. So first you got to tell me who are the characters. There was 2 of them. Write their names on the line, or they didn't really give their first names, but setting, where did the story take place? There's 2 places where the story took place. What was the problem? Write that there. And then how did they solve the problem? That's the last thing that you do there. On page 216, you got to write the word that matches the picture, and then write the 2 that you didn't use at the very bottom. That's easy. 217, write the word that means the same as the word that they give you. So look at the words in the word bank and write the word. So like buddy, what's another word for buddy? That's friend. So there's your answer for number 1. And then page 218, you got to write either the word was or were in the blank. Remember, if we use the word was, that's when we're talking about one person. We use were if we're talking about 2 or more people. So like the first one, I blank meeting my friends. Is it I were meeting my friends or I was meeting my friends? Well, we're only talking about one person, so we know that is was. All right? All right, you guys can hopefully, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. Rodney, you're going to be, for your reading, going to be reading the story, The Flying Balloon, in your hardcover book, and answer those 5 questions there on a separate piece of paper. It's a pretty easy story. And then in your workbook, you got 1 page, or 49 and 50. First page is dealing with vocabulary words that you from that story. And then on page 50, that deals with drawing conclusions. The answers weren't given in the story, but what can you assume or what can you guess happened because of that happened? So like Joseph was always asking why about things. He also was always experimenting with something. What conclusion can you draw about Joseph? So because he was always asking and he was always experimenting, what can you guess or what could you say about Joseph? I would say that Joseph is a very curious person, that he's always wondering and trying to figure out new things. Okay? So be careful with that. If you have questions, feel free to get in contact with me throughout the day today, okay? Page second graders and Rodney, with regards to your math. Today's math assignment is pretty simple. It's pretty much review stuff. The only thing that's a little bit different is on the top part for the word problem, you're going to be adding up 3 2-digit numbers. So it's very important that when you write those 3 2-digit numbers, that you are going to be writing them neatly so that way they fit in the spaces and your columns all match up. So notice I have my 3-digit numbers and I have these numbers are all on top of each other and these numbers are all on top of each other, because if you don't write them neatly, then you could get them confused. So you'd always remember 15, 16, 17, so the 7 goes down here and then the 1 goes up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer for my problem would have been 77. I just made up a problem there. Everything else should be pretty normal. For number 2, you got to tell me how much money that is. Number 3, you got to measure all those sides, the rectangle that it goes around the money. You have to tell me the centimeters and just the centimeters for each one. And then it says, what's the perimeter? So remember, if I have my rectangle here, if this is 5, what will this side be? It's the same. 5 here, 5 here. If this is 7, what will this be? 7. Remember, when we do perimeter, you add up all the sides. So we do 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7. That's what you have to make sure, because you're only measuring 2 sides for the top part. Make sure that you write them. You add up all the sides, all 4 numbers for that to find the perimeter. Number 4 deals with telling what time that clock says, just like we worked on yesterday. Number 5 is rounding to the nearest 10. And then 6 is the same thing with making sure our columns are all lined up. You got to rewrite it. So like the first one, it has the line, and it says 65 minus 28. It's making sure that we write those problems just nice and neat, just like that. And then can we do 5 minus 8? Nope. So we have to cross off the 6, make it a 5, and we make the 1 into a 15, and then we can subtract and go from there. Okay? So be careful when you're writing those. Write them nice and neat, because the neater you are, the better that the better chance you won't get that marked wrong. The backside is exactly the same stuff. Just be very, very careful. You do not have to, I don't think on the backside you had to measure it. They already measured that rectangle for you, so it should be pretty simple there. All right? All right. Second graders, with regards to your reading today, on the first page, page 91, you're just using the words to fill in the blank. Simple, piece of cake. Same with the backside. Find the 4 words that are spelled wrong. Write them, circle them, write them correctly. Again, piece of cake. 93 is pretty simple too. You got a pretty easy reading it today. You got to circle the he, she, or they. There's 4 places. Circle all of them in that story at the top about Tom and Kate. But then you got to rewrite that story, and where it says like he, you're going to write maybe Tom. That's where Tom's name is supposed to be. So you would write, instead of saying yesterday he rode his bike to the lake, yesterday Tom rode his bike to the lake. Okay? Or whatever, or whoever it might be. I don't know if it was Tom or not. Then on the backside, we have a letter there, and there's some words that should be capitalized that the person who wrote them forgot to capitalize them. There are 6 mistakes. You got to find those 6. Remember, we capitalize people's names, names of streets, beginnings of sentences, the word I if you're talking about yourself. So find those 6 mistakes, circle them, and then write them correctly with the capital letters at the beginning, on the bottom, on those 1 through 6 lines. Okay? For your phonics today, you're going to be taking a look at syllables again. You're just matching words with their picture on the first page, and on page 170, you're filling in the blank. 171, matching the words to the pictures, and 172, filling in the bubble next to the word by the picture. Very, very easy. I think you guys can do that. I don't think I have to go through a whole lot of explanation there with you guys with regards to that, because I think that you guys are doing a pretty good job, and I think you guys can handle that one without me. All right? Third graders on lesson 95. So today you're going to take it a step further. We've been working with estimating the number before you multiplying it. Today you're going to be taking it into a word problem. I'm going to work with this a little bit more on the Zoom meeting tomorrow morning for those that need a little extra help. But let's go through one of the examples. It says Roger bought a new bike for $31 and a helmet for $29. Bike seat, sorry. He calculated that he would need about $90 to pay for those items. Was Roger's total reasonable? Yes or no? Well, he thinks he needs $90. Well, let's take a look. If you bought a seat for $31, how much money is that? That's about $30, right? That 31's close to 30. And if he bought a helmet for $29, how much is about that? Yeah, that's about $30. So what's 30 plus 30? If we add those together, that is $60. So was his reasonable guess that he was going to spend $90 close? Not really. He was about $30 off, right? So was his total reasonable? No, it was not at all. He was a little bit off, all right? So that's what you're going to be doing. Number 3 kind of deals with that today. So be very careful with that one. It says that Rachel bought 6 small bags of sunflower seeds, and she found that there were 193 seeds in one bag. She estimated that there would be 1,800 seeds in the bag. Is Rachel's estimate good? So you got to round 193 to, what would we round that to? I would round that to 200 and then take 200 times 6 and see if that's about what's her estimate about right. Sorry, my nose is itchy today. All right. And then you also have another one on page 16. I'm not going to go over that one with you. I think everything else, though, should be fairly normal with regards to your assignment on there. If you have questions, take a look through your assignment. I'll be going through stuff, like I said, on Zoom with regards to your math for tomorrow, okay? With regards to your reading book, on page 122, you're going to fill in the blank according to that story that you read, Trapped by Ice, yesterday. So you're going to go through that, fill in the word blanks, not too hard. Skip, you can cross off 123 and 124. 125, you got to use those words over there to fill in the crossword puzzle at the bottom. Again, not too hard. And then at the bottom part, 126, this one's pretty simple if you just follow my instructions. If the word has a double consonant, like the word sudden has double D in the middle, that goes on the bottom boat. If it doesn't have a double consonant, then that goes on the top boat. Pretty simple there. Okay, so if it has double consonant, put it on the bottom. If it doesn't, put it on the top. Okay? All right. Pretty simple. Leah, you have another, and Trey, you guys got another math test today. Mr. Wassel will be sending that out to you, so make sure if you have questions, get in touch with him. And then for fourth graders, Leah, Javon, and Dylan, for your reading today, on page 104 is the cause and effects chart. Because remember, cause, because it was hot outside, the effect, my ice cream melted. All right? So they're going to give you a page that a cause happens, and you got to tell me the effect. So because Jamal got a note from the principal, what was the effect? How was Jamal feeling? Or on page 539, Grandpa Joe gets angry at Jamal. Well, what caused Grandpa Joe to get angry at Jamal? Write that on that line, okay? And then on page 105, you have some problems, some questions that you need to answer with regards to that story that we read yesterday. So you only have those 2 pages. Shouldn't be too hard. If you have questions about them, give me a call. I'll be happy to answer them, okay? All right, I think that should be about it. Again, like I said, I won't be on Zoom in the evening tonight, but I will be on in the morning. So if you have questions, please jump on in the morning at 10 a.m. and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. As we look towards the end of the week here, don't forget we're going to have a special guest on Friday for our Zoom meeting. So make sure it's at the 10 o'clock meeting. I will be on Thursday, both days for Zoom. Otherwise, keep up the good work. You guys are doing very, very well. Make sure you're staying busy. And if you have questions, don't ever hesitate to give me a call. All right? Have a great day. See ya.